in your screen that it is being recorded. Usually it's at the top. There it is.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just, again, want to welcome everybody. Typically, we do these every month. We didn't do one in December, but we will start these again. We do them on the third Monday at 2 p.m. If there's ever a reason you're unable to attend, I am recording it, so I should be able to send that out to you to watch, usually within 24 to 48 hours after the meeting. We have a lot of new members on our team, so I'm hoping they can join. If they don't, that's fine. But for those who are here, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves. Everybody knows me. I'm Lynn Cohen. I am a senior recruitment specialist. This is one of the fabulous teams that I get to lead for the American Red Cross. And, you know, our goal really for this recruitment team is to find more and more folks to join us to volunteer in some of our many, many roles. And I say to folks, you know, there's probably over between national headquarters and local positions, there's probably over 500 different volunteer opportunities available with the Red Cross. Some open, some close, some get full, some are always in need, like blood donor ambassadors. But we as recruiters in the recruitment team are charged with finding new individuals, finding new places to recruit from, trying to increase that recruitment stream, whether it's virtually with different organizations, religious organizations, community organizations. So we're always looking for new avenues for outreach. So that's one of the main purposes of this meeting, is to everybody get together, kind of chat about what's going on, what's happening within the Red Cross, and ways for us to stay connected as a group, but also to bring your thoughts, ideas, and share them wherever you think we might be able to connect with someone that we haven't reached out to yet. So with that said, I'm going to see if Maureen would like to start and introduce herself. And we'll kind of go around the screen as I have you on mine. So Maureen.
Thank you. Hi. My name is Maureen Zug, and I started with the Red Cross really in late October, and I am excited to be here. I have experience as minority recruiter, also professional recruiter, and student recruiter, so college recruiter. So I'm really excited to be working with the group.
Thank you, Maureen, and we're really excited to have you. Thank you. So next I have Abhi, and I know I'm pronouncing it.
Yes.
Can you pronounce it for us?
Yeah, Abhi is fine. Abhi is fine.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys. So as I said earlier, it's my first recruitment meeting. You know, I've been trying to figure out how I can help out with things while I'm online. I always wanted to be a Red Cross volunteer, and I figured now that I have the extra time in my life, I might take it to help out. So, you know, since I'm working online, I saw that the recruiter job was available. And, you know, while I was talking to Lynn, she gave me some really good ideas, talking about the Action Academy and how we're trying to work on involvement. I thought that was really cool. So, you know, I'm excited to be here and be a recruiter and help out in whatever way that I can.
Thank you, Abhi. And we're very excited to have you too. I always love having that youth perspective. So I'm so excited that you're here. You've been working on a project for us. Just one second, I'm going to close. Must be the mailman or something. Sorry about that. So yeah, so you've been working on a project for us with the Delaware Valley chapter. So that's the chapter we're in.
Yes.
It's Chester, Montco, and Delaware County. And do you want to share a little bit and share with the group what you've been working on?
Yeah. So So earlier, Lynn assigned me the task of going through all the churches in the Chester County and Delaware County area, so that we can contact them and see if we can put up posters there and just, maybe hold activities there and just have these as areas for, recruitment or Red Cross activities. So I've been spending the past couple of days going through all the church websites in the area, their Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, whatever I can find, so that I can find contact information for their secretary, find the location, see who we can contact to ask about these questions. And I've built up a spreadsheet of 53 churches so far in the Chester County and Delaware County area combined, that we can contact and work with, hopefully.
And that's awesome. Thank you for that. Yes, I have the
Cool.
spreadsheet. So the next step is we're going to be looking at that, and we have a database. It's in a program called WorkMap AI. I'm not real familiar with it. I'm kind of learning it, but we had a volunteer create and develop that for us. So basically,
Wow.
we'll be able to upload all this information because she created that spreadsheet. So it should be just a click and an import for that data to be uploaded. And so we're going to be able to go in and say, oh, if we want to search for churches in the area that we want to reach out to, and pull that list. So it's going to make our recruitment efforts a lot more succinct, especially if we're focusing on a targeted area or township. So that's going to be a huge help for us. So thank you so much for your efforts in that.
It was fun. Thank you.
Fun. Oh, I don't know about fun, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Something to do when I got nothing,
Yeah, well, we'll keep you engaged. We'll find other places for you to outreach to as well. And then you're also going to be on the Action Academy team, so I'm excited about that as well. Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
And Sindira, do you want to go next? And if I'm butchering your names, please correct me.
No, that's a correct pronunciation. Hi, everybody. I'm Sindhura, and, and I have recently joined Red Cross. My first training session happened just a couple of weeks ago, and I also did enroll for the blood drive ambassador, volunteer ambassador, and I did just complete my first blood drive volunteering service at Westchester. And it went well, and I'm here to the same give my services to the community for the good work that you. And I have a software background, I'm a technical person, so if there is anything that you want to help, you want me to help any kind of work, as I said before, and looking forward for it.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. That's always a good background to have. So we may be putting those skill sets to use. We're excited that you're here. So thank you so much for sharing. And then we have Ume. Are you on?
Yeah, hi. My name is Ume Siddiqa. I'm a senior at Upper Darby High School. I don't really have that many background on anything, but I did volunteer at my local library, and I just love working with my community and just seeing what things I can do. Because of the pandemic, I haven't really been able to just get involved and just do anything hands-on. So I was just searching ways I can help, and Red Cross came up, so I decided to join, and I'm really excited to see how I can be involved here and what I can do and maybe be of help.
So Ume, share a little bit with the group about your background and what you did with the libraries, though, because that was one of the things that impressed me, that I really thought you would be great to add to the Action Academy team. So do you want to share with them what you did real quick?
Sure. So at my library, when I was a sophomore, I did summer volunteering at the library, and our advisor that ran that program was very impressed with the group, and she wanted a group of volunteers to just work with the library all year. And the goal of that was to just get more teens and more children to be involved in the library and have like fun programs open, just so like people are seeing that, hey, you can just come to the library and there's all these great resources. And if you need to wind down, have like do fun projects that you normally wouldn't get the chance to do. So I was the president for like the next 2 years. So I really had the opportunity to just work with this wonderful group of teens who we just brainstorm ideas for different events. We had events like every month. Sometimes it would be like related to the holiday that was like Halloween or Christmas. Sometimes it would just be art projects. For the summer, we had like a summer kickoff to celebrate like the end of the school year, where we had like about 100 kids come in, and we had different station setups with games, and we had food. So it was really like fun being there, being near so many people, and just like it was like a good feeling knowing all these kids would come up to me and say like, oh my God, I love this event. Thank you for holding this event. And thank you for like organizing. That was like the best part about it. Just seeing like everyone be so happy. I personally, when I moved to the US, I used to go to the library all the time. And so for me, I felt like I had to give back to this library because I got so many good out of it. So yeah, that was so fulfilling.
Yeah, so I just love the experience that you had, trying to get other people engaged, because that's what we really want to do with these action academies. And like I shared, I love the youth perspective. So, we have lots of brainstorming to do at the 28th meeting for the action academies. And I hope you can bring some of those ideas and experience, because we want them to be fun, we want them to be engaging, and we want them to be impactful, and we want them to, be all inclusive. We want people to want to come and do something and feel good about what they did in that time that they're with us. So I think you'll have some good thoughts and ideas to bring to the team. I think that's everybody who's here for right now. So I just wanted to, I always typically do a check-in chat. We just kind of introduced ourselves. I always ask if everyone's, having a happy 2021 so far. Did anyone make any resolution that they want to share? Mine, I will start, is more self-care. I'm trying to do one thing a week, whether it's buy a new lotion and try a new hand lotion, or something to that effect, or to schedule a massage, or to read a book. I'm trying to create little self-care things for me to do, because I think we all get so locked into our everyday lives that sometimes we just really forget to take care of ourselves. So that's my New Year's resolution, is more self-care. And that I can fill so many different spots into that. I could go on forever, but does anyone else want to share?
Yeah, this year I want to keep myself more busy than I was last year. So with the pandemic and all, I had to stay home and just nothing but the office work. So this year I want to actually give myself new challenges and then see what I'm capable of doing.
Love that. Thank you, Sandira. That's awesome.
For me, I started this, like, I don't want to call it a tradition because it was just like a moment kind of thing that I did like on New Year's Eve 2 years ago, where I put, it's sort of like a bucket list, but like a monthly bucket list where I write down 12 activities that I would like to do in like that new year. And each month, and I do it like randomly and I fold it up. So I get excited when I open the new one. I open it at the beginning of the month, and then I challenge myself to do that activity like anytime during that month. Like sometimes they're like fun ones where I had like a photo shoot. Sometimes it's like one of my most memorable one was like I did a 24 or like 36-hour challenge where I was like off technology, like off my phone, off my computer, off TV, off radio. Like I just went totally off the grid. And it was during the summer. So I just had to like keep myself occupied with everything else that didn't involve technology. And at first it was really hard because like I'm just so used to being on my phone and just being on the computer every day. But it was really fun because I realized it just gave me a lot more time to read and do other things. So I did that this year too. So I'm like excited to do those new activities that I have for this year.
Awesome. I love that. That's very cool.
That is pretty cool. I think this is something that's becoming increasingly popular these days. I think they call it a dopamine detox.
Ooh.
And it's apparently super good for your brain, so I dig that. I don't have the courage to do it myself.
That's interesting. That's an interesting challenge.
Well, I mean, that was like one of the challenges. So like on New Year Eve, I like go through like a list and I'm like, okay, this might be fun to do. So I just randomly put it. So I have no idea what the activities are for like the new year is. Like I vaguely remember some of them, but it's always like a surprise opening it in the beginning of the month and just like trying to find a time to do that activity, whatever it is.
I love that. I think that's very cool. Good job. See, look at all this innovation and insight from our youth. I love it.
I guess I'll go next. I don't usually make New Year's resolutions, but I have decided that like I'll have like a lesson learned from each year. That'll help me in the next. And I strive to like learn from that lesson. And I guess like 2020 taught me something that no other year taught me. And that was like it's okay to not be in control of everything, and that it's you can never prepare for everything. Like you can't sometimes things will come out of nowhere and you just can't expect them. But even when they happen, you can learn to control what you're in control of and try not to be demotivated, I guess, and demoralized by the things that you feel are taken away from you. You know, like can't do one thing but can do 9 more. I'm trying to work, and I guess my goal for 2021 is to work on that mindset. Like, even if I lose control of some things due to unexpected events, to maintain a positive attitude and try to look for the other 9 things that I can do.
Wow. That is very positive and empowering and just on point for 2020 and I think life in general. Like if you can master that, you are going to do very well throughout your entire life, because that is something. I mean, you know, we all go along, we get into our routines, we know what we're doing, and then bam, you know, this came out of nowhere and everybody had to adapt, and it wasn't easy. And I think also in 2020 we learned that it's okay not to be okay, because so much stuff changed for us. And so yeah, that's very cool. See, you guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Maureen.
Well, I think my New Year's setup is sort of a melange of what everybody else has said in a way. I stopped making resolutions probably about 10 years ago, and what I do is quarterly goals. And I pick 3 or 4 things a quarter to work on. So in other words, they might be in the area of health, or they might be in the area of spiritual growth, or they might be in the area of professional growth or social growth. So I just, that way I keep on reviewing things and seeing where I need to turn my attention. And it seems it seems to work well for me. I just found out when I was doing yearly goals that I was not able to, my attention wandered and then I really didn't gain anything tangible or anything that was lasting. So I came up with the quarterly goal thing, and it seems to work really well for me.
I like that too, because I mean, this whole self-awareness thing is like, it's not something like, oh, I have to lose, 50 pounds in the year, something huge and gaping. It's something I can sit and recheck and reassess. So, I mean, I kind of understand that. And it's really, this is the first time in a long time that I've decided to do something. Like, I haven't done a resolution in a long time, but because we have our national campaign was resolutions this year, resolved to volunteer, I thought I would tie that into the meeting somehow. But yeah, I think those are all great, you guys. That's awesome. And I appreciate you taking the time to share that mindset with all of us. So anyone can take a little bit from each of those and have good juju and mojo moving forward through 2021. So thank you. The next item on the agenda, can everyone see it?
Yes.
You can see it? Okay.
Yeah, I can.
So I'm thinking about doing a recruitment challenge, and I just kind of wanted everybody's thoughts and ideas about this. Like, our blood donor ambassadors, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later, but our biggest need is in Chester County. So I was wondering, and I'm not quite sure how to put it together yet, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there for discussion, is like, would anyone be interested in like, how can we recruit the most BDAs from now through the end of February? And we could track that through referrals, or you could send them to me, or, have them talk to me directly. And then I was wondering if anyone had thoughts for what a prize would be like for that. And it doesn't have to be, now through the end of February. And we could start at February 1 and run it through March. Does that sound like an interest to anybody, or am I way out in left field here?
I am up for the challenge.
It sounds fun to me, and since there's a critical need, it's great to be able to really focus on that.
What would interest, like, motivate people for a prize, do you think? Like Amazon gift card, like a Red Cross sweatshirt like I'm wearing, just Red Cross swag in general?
I know for like people my age, like, or people around where I live, everybody's crazy about Wawa. Like, if you give people Wawa gift cards, they love it.
Okay, a Wawa. Okay.
But guys, I'm all the way in Atlanta right now volunteering online. A Wawa gift card is gonna make me so salty. I miss Wawa.
Sorry,
I'm
it didn't
saying.
mean to bring back memories, but Wawa's pretty great.
How about like a $10 gift card that if you're in Pennsylvania, you could spend on Wawa? I mean, I respect it. I love, or, I'll just keep the Wawa gift card as a namesake and remember how much I miss Wawa.
Are you coming back anytime soon?
Yeah, probably. Summer. I'll just splurge, I'll destroy all of you in these recruitment challenges, earn myself like $50 of Wawa credit.
There you go. That's what I like to hear, that motivation for that incentive. All right, so I'm just going to check with my supervisor about it. I'll put something together, and then I'll send out an email about it, and we'll go from there. So thanks for the feedback on that. The next item on the agenda, we've talked about it a little bit. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I think everybody in this call is on for the 128 meeting. We're going to meet at 3:30 p.m. via Teams. So if anyone who's not on this call and listening to the recording wants to join the Action Academy committee, please reach out to me and let me know, and I will send you that information. But just come prepared with your ideas to brainstorm. I mean, the general kind of format I have is, in my head, is an overview of the Red Cross, and then some kind of action Is it one singular action? Are there multiple, choices of actions that people can do? I don't know what we're going to make it look like. Do we want to have it specific to different months like March, or like, I was going to bring this list. I can send it out later, but like Red Cross does something specific for every month. So like this is National Blood Donor Awareness Month, I believe. January is. And February is African American Heritage Month. I want to say March is LGBTQ and Pride Awareness Month, but don't hold me to that on March. And then April and May, and so we have months that are dedicated to different things that support different lines of service. So, do we want our Action Academies to align with these particular months? And I'll have that list for that meeting for sure, for everybody, or I'll find it and send it out before that meeting, just the month list of ARC.
I think that's a great idea to be aligned with the months, and that brings awareness to the community as well as what the Red Cross is doing and how it serves people.
I agree.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. So, and with that, we'll create our framework as we move through our brainstorming session on the 28th. Just some updates. Obviously, today is Martin Luther King Day. There were several ways to participate that were pushed out from national headquarters. People were asked to volunteer to donate blood. And if they couldn't do it on this day, there's a link to sign up for an upcoming opportunity if you want to do that, or encourage a friend or family member to do that. Again, this challenge idea of team members to recruit a friend or family member to become a volunteer. We do have this link, the Resolve to Volunteer campaign, but I will, also give you more details as I move through creating our challenge specific for our team. Something important is diversity and inclusion. This year with the American Red Cross, and every year, but this year is the first time we're having actual measurable metrics. And so there's always interesting things that you can read. This is 5 tips for effective allyship and the guide to allyship, and it's always posted on the exchange. And if you don't know where that is or how to get to it, I can show you that as well. So, and then get familiar with Let's Work Together, the Black Experience, and Watch the Look. It's a film and conversation guide about talking about race, and that has been shared with us by the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And I believe that our recognition and appreciation team are trying to put something together also by working with the National Museum of American History and Culture for our volunteers. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a walkthrough tour or something, but that you guys can go on at your own pace, just for continued awareness and an increase in our footprint around diversity and inclusion. And then always, I saw you had your mask on. Someone joined and shared. Was that Unica? Someone joined with a mask or shared their mask. So always, hi, Nika. So we are always asking everyone to be safe and follow the CDC and state guidelines. So I put a link there. There's all kinds of information again on the exchange if you have any questions about the Red Cross and where we stand with the COVID crisis that's still ongoing, but hopefully coming to a conclusion in the year 2021. Not a complete conclusion, but herd immunity would be nice. I wanted to share something that's new. It's called High Fives. It's quick, easy, and fun. So our recognition and appreciation team created this. So if you notice someone doing something great, you can give them a high five and you can click on that link. And basically it's a quick little form. It's a virtual way of recognizing a volunteer employee who's made a contribution towards the mission. Recipients receive a compliment via email, and they are showcased on what we call our wall of awesomeness. And I'm going to click on that and see if you guys can go there with me. But it's just a nice little way, a fun, easy way to recognize our fabulous volunteers. Why is that not working? Did it take you there with me or no?
I don't see it.
You don't see it. Let me see if I can. Stop sharing and then start sharing. And there it is. Now, can you see it?
Yes.
So you kind of see that the wall of awesomeness is where people have given kudos to folks who are doing exceptional and outstanding things. This just launched, so there's not that many there yet. But again, you are welcome to do it. It's really, you click, it's an easy to use form. It says who you are, the name of the person you're nominating, why you're nominating them. But this is really cool. Our upper management always goes and looks at these. It's just, it's something new with our region. And so I'm encouraging everyone on here to take a look at it. Also off to the side, I mean, you'll see all these awesome resources. If you have any questions, but this is, you know, a place where you can go, and if you have any questions about the mission, vision, values, you want to know where our region map is, what it looks like, who our leadership is, all of these are our online links, places where we have a presence. And so there's some good stuff here on the sidebar. That's all relative to our fabulous volunteers. So this should also be in your profile. So when you log on to your profile, I believe they put this under my chapter, if I'm not mistaken, right there. So if you log into your profile, you would click on your My Chapter tab right here, and you could click on Submit a High Five. And then you'll see it's a quick and easy form right here. Can you all see that or no?
Yes.
Thank you. So I always like to share when we've got something new coming out. So that's the wall of awesomeness. So let me go back. And again, that's for anybody and everybody. Let me go back to my sharing my agenda. Okay, virtual recruitment. So can you see my agenda again?
Yes.
So one of our other new team members, Tracy Bell, she is also a blood donor ambassador, and she is a blood donor. She just reached her 4-gallon mark, if you can believe that. So Tracy wants to do a lot of our social media posts. So if you want to recommend a platform that we're not using already, or if you have a recommendation or would like to, you know, work with her somehow in posting some of our recruitment on your personal social media, we can do that. We just had and I think it's down a little further. If I didn't add it, I'll send it out. But so Regional sent out a new recruitment messaging for the beginning of the year from January till February 28th, and it's basically called Resolve to Volunteer. So there is a one-pager with like 10, 15 different little blurbs that you can just copy and paste into your social media, and it has a link for people to go directly to register to volunteer, and I can send those out. I thought I had them in here. But that's one of the ways we're doing virtual recruitment. So it's kind of nice to have Tracy on top of that. But if, again, you want to post anything on your personal pages, I will send that out, and you can use any of those blurbs. They're approved by national headquarters. You don't need to add anything to it. You know, people won't be responding to you. They'll go directly to the website to make application. So I just wanted to share that. So our high priorities are always our blood donor ambassadors. So I wanted to share that in Delaware County, we need 47, and currently we have 41 active volunteers registered in Volunteer Connection. That doesn't always mean that we actually have the 41. Sometimes people take sabbaticals or leaves, again, because of COVID, things like that. Sometimes things come up, like they may have a health or a medical emergency that they have to step away. So we try to keep that list cleaned up about every quarter. We go in and say, okay, who's actually volunteering? The blood team reaches out to them and says, hey, are you still interested in being a blood donor ambassador? Yes or no? So this is currently what we have listed in our database right now. Chester County, because we have the fixed location site at in Westchester, we have a need of filling, having 108 donor ambassadors in the area for Chester County, including, and that's based on all the different mobile blood drives that are offered every month. So this number is created every quarter by the volunteer services team and the biomedical services team, because they assess what they've had in the past, what has worked with their fill need rate. And so currently they need 108 folks, and we currently have 63, which is up recently from 40 something. So we've made an impact there, which is good, but I'm not sure why. It's kind of a hard county to sell, and I haven't figured it out yet. So, and maybe it's just our recruitment. Maybe with this new recruitment awesome team that we've got, in addition to our veteran volunteers, we'll be able to get that number up there. I do have to say I'm kind of competitive, and in our team meeting this morning, and if I said this already, I apologize for repeating it. But our Philadelphia County fill rate, which is one of the highest needs in the region, they had a 97% fill rate. So I don't know exactly what their numbers are, but they're pretty high. And they had 97% of their shifts filled. So my goal is to work towards that and get us to meet up with Philadelphia County and get 97% of our shifts filled. I am also looking for a recruitment lead. So this is someone who helps me. So when I recruit people, I try to onboard them, set them up with like a training and a work, what's the word? So I try to set you up with like onboarding and training, and I know I haven't done that for all of you. I'm in the process of working on that, and it's just kind of a list of things that you need to do in the first 90 days. Basically, it's a lot of reading and watching videos, things that you can do at your self-paced, and then we try to set up what we call a work plan, and basically it's just setting goals. It should just be called work goals, or opportunity goals or something. But like I have one set up with Maureen, and Maureen is, I don't have it in front of me, but she's researching, and the goal is to try and get 2 new diversity, 2 new volunteers from our diversity and inclusion outreach started with the American Red Cross, something like that, right, Maureen? That's just an example of one of them.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, so I like to set those up, but I need someone to help me do those. And I would, the recruitment lead typically helps like create the agendas for these meetings and can host them if I'm not available. And just, follow up with the recruitment team, just reach out and see how everybody's doing if they have questions. And I want you all to know that you can reach out to me too. Like, we don't have to wait for this monthly meeting. If you have a question or an idea, please feel free to call me or shoot me an email. I mean, I am always happy to hear from you. And I mean, I love the back and forth. I don't want to just be the one reaching out to you. I want you really to feel like you can reach out to me, and we can chat at any time. It doesn't have to be a scheduled time. I mean, it helps me sometimes because I'm like in meetings sometimes, for like an hour or 2 or 3 hours on end. So if I don't get back to you, I always try to get back to folks within 24 hours at the latest, if not the same day. So that's something or someone I'm looking for. So if anyone's interested in becoming a lead or knows someone who might be interested, I just wanted to put that out there. Virtual event opportunities, we're always asking, like this list that Abhi did for the churches, you know, that's going to help us take next steps, because what I'm probably going to do is ask for a couple of volunteers. So since we've got the research done, then I'm probably going to ask a couple of volunteers to kind of start reaching out to these folks and just saying, hey, we can offer virtual recruitment information. So typically we try to pair it with our disaster cycle services team. So we want to offer them something, say maybe we can do a fire safety presentation or disaster preparedness presentation, something of that effect. And then typically on the back end of that, we offer like our recruitment opportunities. So we say, well, if you want to volunteer and support, you know, any of these initiatives or roles, this is how you can do it. So that's how the next steps of the research projects are going to work. And like I said, I have a couple other research teams working on a spreadsheet for schools. And then I have another team that we onboarded on Friday. It's a mother and son team, and they are doing anything relative to services to the armed forces. So we received a bunch of information and websites and links. And so we really want to get connected to the different organizations in our locale that we can reach out to help support our services to the Armed Forces Department. And sometimes these research projects come up, and I usually will share it with the recruitment team first, just to see if there's anyone who wants to do it before I try to recruit externally. Any questions about any of that so far? No?
I'm good.
Okay, and then just, you know, if you do post anything on your, I'm gonna try and do this again, on your social media, your personal social media, we have to do what's called a recruitment activity tracker, because they want to know, they want to follow our metrics, like who, where are we sharing, where are we recruiting from. So we have this nice little form here. Now I'm just going to show you all it. I'm going to try and share my screen again this way. Just 1 second. Sorry, just 1 second. They make these screens so little. There it is. I think this is it. Can you see that?
Yes.
So when you click on that link, it takes you directly to this cute little form. So what you would do is put your name in this little form. Then you put the date of your activity. So say today you went and posted on your Facebook page. Activity type, so right here it would be a social media post. And that's all, unless you're doing anything else, which I doubt you would be. But it would just, you would click on the social media post. Everything's virtual pretty much right now. Line of service, well, if you're recruiting and posting something for blood donor ambassador, it's biomedical services. And then you go to the next line and it's going to say, well, what are you recruiting for? There's some of the most popular roles that we recruit for. If you scroll a little bit, you'll see right there's donor ambassador. And then the activity narrative, I do need you to put my name here somewhere. So you could just say posted on Facebook or personal Facebook page, resolve to volunteer message, Lynn Cohen's team. And then, so who are you reaching out to? Well, it's obviously a group if you're posting in Facebook. If you're targeting any specific group, it's here. Most of the time you won't be, unless you know you're posting, you know, in a specific group representing any of these. And then you just, I think that's all you have to enter, unless like it is a group specifically, you would just fill these out. Since it is a group, you can put Facebook because that's the channel name. So we try to check like where are we getting or posting most of our recruitment efforts towards. So Facebook is probably going to be the biggest one. You could put LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. If you don't see it on this list, and I think there's more than just this, maybe there's not. But if you don't see it on the list, you can just type it in there and add it. So say Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. And then you don't have to put that information unless you were doing like a specific ask. So say you were doing a specific post in, you know, the Latinx community of Westchester University, then you would want to fill these out. Is that a new or existing? That's a potential relationship because I've been working on it. So, you know, that's just one of the ones I would put. And then it says touch, you know, is it an introduction, a first time, and ask, or ongoing stewarding? Well, mine is still onboarding. You know, I did the introduction and now I'm trying to steward them into an ask. So, and then this stuff you don't have to fill out unless you were doing like a specific group. So say that you had posted this to, or you had sent something specific to Mark Smith, you would put Mark Smith, his contact address. So say it's Lincoln University, you know, if you have the address, great, his phone number, email address. Chapter pretty much is always going to be the Delaware Valley chapter if you're doing anything for the 3-county area. Would you repeat the activity? And it goes really more quickly than this, than I'm just, you know, going through this with you. And then if you want to put like, okay, you know, you're going to follow up with them in 2 weeks, you could put the follow-up date in there and just say you're going to shoot a follow-up email or something, and then you click submit, and that's it. So it's really a quick, easy form. And again, it's really important just to track all of our recruitment efforts. So it shows us on a monthly basis what we're doing, you know, what our reach is, and then they can do kind of a comparative analysis as to, okay, are all these postings increasing the number of recruitment of the new volunteers coming on board? Does that kind of make sense? And you can go over that more on your own. I mean, that's why you guys have the agenda, so you can click on these links and get familiar with it. If you have any questions or want one-on-one, want me to go over it with you one-on-one, I'm happy to do that as well. Does anyone have any questions about the service recruitment activity form?
Yeah. So on my social media, I have like followers who are not just from Pennsylvania, but from like Atlanta, from Canada, from
Yeah, that's awesome.
different places. So if they were to join the Red Cross in their respective county, would the organization see that, or would it be like, or would they only be tracking like people from Delaware?
So
county?
what happens? So there's not a direct comparative analysis. It's a general analysis at this point. So they see the number of like the number of applicants versus like, so if we did 400 postings and our applications went up like, you know, 50%, then obviously there's a direct, you know, correlation there that, okay, we did this many postings, we got an increase of 50% of volunteers during, you know, January. So what happens is when those folks apply to volunteer, that when they fill out that application on that link, once they enter their zip code, it gets funneled directly to that location. So if a friend of yours from Atlanta who lives in Atlanta and applies, clicks on that link, and as soon as they fill out their address and information, that application goes directly to Atlanta. And so the Atlanta volunteer intake processing team is going to be the ones to reach out to him. Now, if it's a Canadian address, what will happen is they will most likely get an email from the volunteer intake team and get referred to an office in Canada or the direct website in Canada if they want to volunteer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
because
makes
we
sense.
have people, like I've gotten people from South Africa. Sometimes when we do our virtual presentations, you know, we advertise it everywhere. So we have people from like Africa and Lebanon and Turkey, you know, who attend our presentations, and, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I'm interested in volunteering. So we, as recruiters, find out who their person is in their country and put them directly in touch with them or the link for that volunteer application in their country. That makes sense? At least that link starts a process. Do you know what I mean? No
Right.
matter where they're from.
Right.
It kind of gets them interested. Now, as far as tracking that directly one-on-one, we've been told that they're working on that, whether they're going to put some kind of like, you know, computer code, like, I'm not a coder, so I have no idea what it would look like, but I'm saying like, okay, like each city or each whatever, or each recruiter would have like some kind of code, like 01, be assigned like a 001, 002, 003, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I envision. But they are trying to do that. It is in the process, so they can directly do that correlation. But apparently it's a big job, and you would probably understand that, Sindira, since you have that software development background for creating that. So, but it is something they're looking at doing in the near future. And when I say near future, usually that means within the next year. Good question. Any other questions?
Yeah, so maybe I could ask you this more in depth in an email, but like, is social media like our only outlet for recruiting right now? Or is there any other things you recommend we could do? Like, I don't know. I just feel like if I just post on my social media account, like, hey guys, I'll make a story like, are you interested in helping out? Are you interested in making a benefit to your community? Well, take a look at the Red Cross. This is a really large organization, but like, I feel like I posted one time, maybe two times, and I'd get like people joining, but after that, I couldn't really post on social media anymore.
Why?
I feel like if I did, like, it would just be the same people seeing it again and again, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the other thing you can do is just ask your friends to share that post. So say something like, if you can't volunteer now, we'd really appreciate a share, because sharing increases like the number of responses and donations, whatever that statistic is. I don't know it, but you can always ask people to share. The other thing with that, with regard to posting, you know, some people aren't ready to volunteer at a certain time. The cool thing, I mean, if you know, you can put it up whenever you want to, like once a month or once a quarter or something, because people's lives change. So they may not be ready to volunteer this week or next week, or but maybe over the summer they might have some time and want to do something. So it's, you know, there's no mandate that you have to post at all. But if you know, I can send everybody those recruitment, the New Year resolve to volunteer, and you can use any of those blurbs if you like. But if you do, we're just asking you to fill out this page so we know where it was posted.
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Any other questions? Those are all great questions. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you all is our regional training and events calendar. So this, and I know I'm going to have to share it again. Let me stop and start. So the recruitment training and events calendar is right here under your tab. So when you log into your profile, you have all of these tabs with the exception of administration. So under the My Shifts tab is this great little link called the Regional Training and Events Calendar. And this calendar gives you a key here. So it will tell you anything, because all these items that I'm about to scroll down to are shaded. So light purple, a workforce meeting is typically for disaster. Red, major, means all volunteer events. Blue are training courses, pink are learning events, and orange is just holidays or notable dates. So as you can see, there's a lot of orange there, but anything that's red, volunteers can attend. Like if there's a regional CEO update, our regional executive officer, Guy Triano, is amazing. So if you ever get a chance to like listen to him share an update, I would encourage you to sign up for that. Anything that's shaded out that you can't click on means it already happened. But anything, like you can see they've got Inauguration Day on here. There's some mass care trainings coming up. And again, this is typically disaster, human rights and the Red Cross movement. You know, anybody can sign up for anything that's in red. So if you want some additional training, just check out what's going on in here. If you have any questions, like they have notable, okay, Black History Month starts here. But if there's anything that you're interested in or anything that is important that's coming up, it will be on this calendar. So I recommend kind of getting into the habit of just checking it once a month, or not once a month, once a week, because sometimes they post like volunteer meetups, or like we had our celebration of volunteer event posted on here. So they'll put different things on here. Like there's a, wait, this is passed already, but you know, there's always diversity and inclusion training. So we're always, this was a good one. I actually think I attended that one. But there's always interesting things on here that you can sign up for to learn about if you're interested. But don't get overwhelmed with it. And if you're not sure if it's something you should sign up for, you can always reach out to me. But yeah, this key is always a good reference to kind of let you know. And then you just click on it. Let's see. You would just click on this and you scroll down. It tells you what it is, who's presenting it, and then you click on this to sign up. And again, it's just a real quick, oh, it automatically signs you up then. So you don't have to do anything. And then it says, I've got a confirmation email. Some of them, sometimes you have to fill out a form that just says your name and your email address. But I guess they're getting more sophisticated in how the signups are happening. And then I just wanted to share, does everybody know where to log their hours at?
Yes.
I'm just gonna, so if you log into your profile, I'm just gonna go over this really quickly. Like, I want you all to log your hour for this meeting today. I'm gonna wrap it up quickly because I don't want to go over too much longer because I know you all have other things to do. But to add your hours, it's right here in the middle of your profile. You just click add hours. It'll be today's date. You'll have 1 hour for this meeting. You would put the activity name, you know, recruitment meeting, recruitment monthly meeting. Hours type is always worked. Don't worry about the other two. You're never going to need them unless you're doing something with disaster. but your hours type is always worked. Your position should be probably the Chester and Delaware County recruitment. Yours probably is a recruitment member or team member. So these are mine, but and then you would just click submit, or submit and add another if you need to do another one. But hours are requested to be entered by the end of every month. So all hours for January, please try and get them in by January 31st at midnight. Then we go in and approve them typically once a month. The supervisors go in and approve them. And then they get rolled into the big metrics for the big calendars that get pushed up to you know, our financial development people who use it to share with our funders and things like that. So your hours are super, super important, because sometimes people donate money based on volunteer hours or based on the kind of training, you know, we've got documented that we're sharing with volunteers. Donors are very interesting people, and they will donate money for something that is very near and dear to their heart. So if it's like training, you know, for disaster response or something like that, we have to have those statistics to show them that, yes, we're training this many people to respond to this many disasters. So your hours are super duper 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 important. So please make sure you're logging them. Any questions about logging hours? There's also a mobile app you can add to your phone. If you go to the App Store, any app store, whether it's Google or iPhone, there is, if you just type in Red Cross, there's about, I want to say about 20 different apps. Like you can get notices for disaster, whatever, but if you put in Volunteer Connection, Red Cross Volunteer Connection, you can put the app on your phone, so you can do your hours on your phone if that's easier for you. Now that platform, that app, as Cinder will know, has been updated recently, and I'm actually going to be on a training for that next week about the mobile app, because they've made some improvements to it. So I'm going to learn how the new app works. So I would encourage you to download it on your phone if that's an easier method for you. If it's not, that's no worries. But for the younger generation, typically they like to have that easily available on their phone. And just to go over this really quickly, when you see this disaster relief operations 30, that means that's how many national responses we have going on right now. And if you click on it, you'll see where in the United States we're responding. So these are probably still leftover stuff from the hurricanes down here in Louisiana. These are probably still fires out here. And then in between, who knows? But these are our national responses where it's a big coordinated response. And then this is a way you can invite your friends and family, make a referral. This again, if you click on, tells you where our urgent volunteer needs are. Again, it's always that blood donor ambassador for right now. And then again, if for my calendar, it will show you what you've signed up for here. So these are things that I have upcoming. And then here, the news little section, you can click on that. That's about the high five thing that I shared with you. Anytime you see a 4 or 1 or a 2, that means there's something there for you to read. So like here's the next learning to action. Here's Red Cross personal reflection. So you click on it and you get a little story. So just to kind of give you an idea of that, your profile tries to, you know, keep you up to date and in the know of things. And there is, if you check on my chapter up here, you find all things about the Red Cross, our region, our regional emergency action plan. First aid CPR training is free to our Red Cross volunteers. So if you ever want to sign up for that, reach out to me. I'll give you the code. Volunteer connection help if you need help with your hours, introductory training on EDGE, Teams resources, Red Cross Club stuff, volunteer forms. So submit a high five, wall of awesomeness. So anything that you need or think you get lost or want to try and find a help list, under my chapter is a great place to do that. Any questions about that?
No questions about this, and thank you for emphasizing the importance of logging hours, because I didn't think that was important. And I just use my my connection app on my iPhone to log hours. But the second thing that I actually wanted to know is a feedback, or probably the place I wanted to actually understand. There is some feedback from my recent blood drive volunteering hours, right? So I wanted to know if there's someone who could improve the process there, or probably the donor experience. I didn't think it was up to the mark. So where can we leave that feedback? Like, who should we contact to just
So,
let
Ernie,
people know what I felt?
Ernie Ernesto is the Delaware and Chester County biomedical team volunteer engager.
Okay.
So we want you to reach out to Ernie. So Ernie and I talk together about once a month to see if there are any issues or anything we can help resolve. So we appreciate the feedback. So definitely reach out to Ernie. Feel free to CC me if you would like to, or if you want to stay on after this call and have time and want to chat, that would be great as well.
Yeah, sure, I can stay back.
Okay, that sounds good. So our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 15th. So you'll get another email like this. Again, I try to send it out Thursday or Friday. I got really crunched, so sorry it went out so late this time. Typically, I try to get out Thursday before the Monday. If anyone has any agenda items that they want to share, feel free to reach out to me and give those to me at least a week before the meeting, and I'm happy to add those on there. Any final questions about anything that we've discussed today, or anything that I can try and answer if I didn't? No? Well, I want to thank you guys so much for staying in here with me over the 1 hour mark. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to me. I think we've got some great new members on this team. I think you're all going to do wonderful things for our recruitment efforts, and I'm really excited that you're here with us. So please stay in touch, log those hours, and check out some of the links on the agenda. There's some really good information there. And if you read something on there, like the 5 tips for effective allyship, log that as well. That's loggable hours for volunteer time. Okay?
It was nice meeting everyone, even though it has to be like this.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
hopefully,
you. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Hopefully,
Thank you. Have a good day.
we'll get to meet in person one day soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Stay safe.
You too. Stay safe. Bye, Nika. I'll talk to you soon about the 28th. I'll send you an email. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.